Okay, artist name is 3Phazegenerator. Okay, artist name is 3Phazegenerator. Okay, artist name is 3Phazegenerator. Okay, artist name is 3Phazegenerator, and artistic history probably goes back to the early 90s when I was a traveller and a raver at the birth of the techno scene in England, the underground techno scene, and that went on to developing a live set and DJing. Which was really in the London underground squat party scene, which was acid techno in the sort of early 2000s. 2006 I released my own vinyl and started a label called Generator UK, and then started working internationally, branching on from acid techno, working through what we call dark techno, some aspects of minimal techno, and then into the more progressive styles that I'm working with today. I've had about 137 releases on about 52 labels now. I tend to work mostly in Europe, although I've obviously played in Brazil and some international places across Russia, Thailand before as well. But I'm really focused on the scene with techno that's growing in Germany and France in particular at the moment, and Holland as well. Where are we now? I think techno is very diverse. I think it's gone to a point that it's not necessarily genre specific anymore, which is good. People are thinking out of the box, which means on the dance floor people are more accepting of different styles of music. They're open to more experimentation, and I think that we're seeing a little bit of, we've gone through the full cycle of all the different styles of music, and we're joining now to, I'd say, a new union where people are more open than ever before, and that's reflecting in the nights, the people, and it's allowing people that perhaps wouldn't necessarily be into dance music to come along and be influenced as if it was a vibe for the first time. So I do think it's a very exciting time at the moment. Obviously with the digital media we have, there's perhaps in excess of 1,000-2,000 releases coming out every week, and there's also a revival in vinyl at the moment with Pioneer bringing out their Technics 1210 copy. So music outputs never look better. I would say the techno politics are constantly evolving. Perhaps the Eastern Bloc countries that are newer to the scene and countries that have opened their doors to the public in more recent years are evolving perhaps where we were 20 years ago, but obviously the more open they are, the more they're letting new DJs in, and we're seeing from those countries a lot of very young talented producers and DJs coming up, and very good fresh talent, which is also cross-pollinating back to the West, where perhaps we've been doing things the same way for too long. So there's a good cross-pollination between these countries that are just starting out with their techno scenes and their club nights, and the more established ones.
Recoil, recoil.
Yeah, I'm very familiar now with Czech, having lived in Prague for a couple of years. I was playing this year with Adam Freeland and David Drummer at Soundfear, which is a fantastic example of a lot of the open air festivals that will run through from, say, May to about September. It's still a very bubbling scene, and it's also open that it's mixing overground with underground, both in terms of the type of people that are coming to these parties and the artists. So it's a very exciting place to be.
Recoil.
Well, we're never totally independent. In terms of my musical identity, yes, of course. I do have agencies and labels that I work through, but I think the whole idea really with dance music is a sense of unity. You know, you work together with promoters, you try to create an ethos for the night, and then ultimately you want the public to enjoy the dance floor. So in that sense, you're never really alone, you're never really working alone, because you need to get feedback off other people and get the sense of direction of what they need, as well as putting your own message in that music.
I'm 3Phazegenerator. I'm 3Phazegenerator.
If I could put it into one word, I would say Berlin. And that was quite simply because it is one of the culturally most open cities in terms of integration of different styles of music I've been to. Having come from London, we were quite compartmentalised in the kind of techno we were making. Obviously I knew certain European styles were being imported in, but when I went to Berlin, the openness of the people and the openness of the clubs was instrumental in me basically being a lot more experimental and being a lot less fearful, being more bold about styles and musically experimenting on the dance floor, because I saw a lot of that happening in Berlin. It was very accepted there, and it's helped me to make that much stronger in my message to other countries when I go and play there. I think Prague is a very integrated international city, to be quite honest. It is a case of East meets West, rich meets poor, punk meets hippie. It's a real melting pot. It's got its own character, but I do think that it's evolving, and I think for a city of such a small size, it has a great amount to offer people. But you have to go underground as well. You have to be open to some of the smaller parties that are going on, as well as the more commercial ones. I think we were instrumental in creating so many styles of music from acid house, drum and bass, acid techno, that we perhaps oversaturated ourselves and got a bit stale and complacent with the music we were making. And there was a time when I think music was coming out of the UK and influencing the rest of Europe, and in the last 10 years it turned where it was Europe influencing London. London wasn't coming up with any new ideas. But I do believe, like fashion, music is cyclic, and there are now new scenes and new vibes coming out from London. Bristol as well is a mecca. There's a lot of new festivals that are very good, like Boomtown and Surplus Fest. And I think these are cross-pollinating new talent. So we will see it come out of this stagnant period that I think it's been in the last 5 years. The future depends on the dance floor, really. I tend to feed back off what I feel is making people move their bodies and making them express themselves on the dance floor. So it changes day by day, week by week. I've got to be honest. It's not down to me in the end. You can play as a DJ, but if you don't have a dance floor, if you don't have people dancing, it doesn't work. And they're the people, they go to work all week, they come, they deserve that break. It could be a relationship they find on there, it could be some experience they have in front of a speaker, and you deserve to give them the best that they want. So it's a case of tuning with them, really. They decide the future. Okay, artist name is 3Phazegenerator.
One more time before you go.
Say something. Make something.
Okay, artist name is 3Phazegenerator. Okay, artist name is 3Phazegenerator.